everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your new moon reading in Cancer for July 17th, 2023. And we have a new deck that we're actually going to be using for this. Most of the time I use the Moonology decks by Yasmin Boland, but this time we're going to be using the Starcode Astro Oracle. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to tap into the astrological cycle. So let's get right into it. The first card that we have, and I've picked 3 cards, I haven't looked at them, so we're going to look at them together, is the Ascendant entrance. Oh my goodness. Now, we're having a lot of activations at this time. And what I see is that the activations that we're getting throughout this summer in the Northern Hemisphere and also into the next several months afterwards towards the end of this year, we're on an upward trend. I've said this a number of times. So basically our energy is very high. We are finding our tribe at this time as well. These are individuals that we relate with, that we have a kinship with, star kinship with, and we're meeting up with them. And I think that this is an entrance into something very very cool. This is the entrance into our shift. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the Ascendant entrance has to say with what is up for us this new moon. So it is one of the cardinal points, apparently. In a natal chart, the Ascendant tells a story about how you walked into this life at your birth and how you walk into any new situation. It describes the door through which you see the world and the world sees you, your filter system, and hints at your awakening consciousness. The Ascendant, also known as the rising sign, describes the degree of the zodiac just coming up over the eastern horizon at the moment and place of your birth. Action. How do you see the world? Take a long look at the assumptions and presumptions through which you filter your experience of reality. Really look at how your privilege, trauma, or certain attributes of your history can distort the reality of the moment. Do what you can to dismantle those obstructions so that you can see the whole view. Open that aperture. Entrance. Conversely, look carefully at the signals you send off. Do they match your intent? Do you say you're fine when you really need a hug? Are you trained to sound modest or apologetic when really you know what you're doing? Do you act like you know what you're doing when you don't? Notice what you project onto the world and take responsibility of how you are seen. The Ascendant is where you become visible. If this makes you nervous, investigate what needs to be healed or where you need to grow your confidence in order to feel comfortable being seen. If you were asking about a project, look for what needs to be repaired or improved before you hold a press conference. Challenge. The front door is only one part of the house. Be willing to look beyond appearances and into the heart. But don't count on others' abilities to do so too. Think about yourself doing that for yourself. The gift here, over time, your reputation is built on what you do, not how you look. I think this is a very interesting look at how you view life, your perspectives, and how they might need to be placed into check at this particular time. If your perspective is more of the glass half full rather than the glass half empty, then you're on the right track. You basically are in a point of a benefit for yourself, that you have the releasing of any fears and bringing in the confidence and the worthiness. You feel more worthy. So that will very much pertain to what your perspective will be about what happens around you and what's in the world. If you are looking at the glass half empty most of the time, then you will notice that you have lack, or rather that you do not have, rather than what you do have, if that makes sense. And I believe that in this sense, when we are entering into a new point of view, which is what is encouraged at this particular time, then you're looking at how you can change your how you could change what it is that you're looking at, how you could change your point of view as opposed to someone else, and not expecting to impose your view on someone else. Just what you see, and seeing from the heart rather than just from your eyes. And that means being compassionate and finding the empathy with what is going on around you, including for yourself as well. Now, Cancer is also a very fluidly emotional sign. And at this time, the emotions are high. The emotions are probably going to be very high throughout the entire month of July. And I would say in August, you're going to see just a little bit of reverberations of the same emotions. At this time, there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of resentment that is, it's kind of touch and go. There's some sadness and fluidity with sadness and depression. And what is really needed at this time is love and compassion. So this is, to me, this is saying that we are entering the entrance of a choice of uh, emotional stability that we would like to have within our lives. And that pretty much says how you will look at the world, whatever you allow in. So emotional awareness of other people, whatever you allow in, and whatever you are able to also give out, is going to reflect what you have in return materially as well. So it sets your reality. So it's a very complicated but very, like, interesting card to bring up, especially for the new moon or for that time. And it's also the fact that new moons also bring newness, so new perspective, new emotional, the way that you handle new emotions or emotions that come up that could have been from old energies and so forth. So this is one of those times where a new state of being is becoming, and that's again an entrance into something new, a rebirth or birth of some sort. So let's look at the next card to find out how it also relates. We have Aries, act. So for the longest time in this month, and I would have to say up until the full moon, there is a form of inaction, and that is having things kind of simmer a little bit within you. Whatever projects and so forth that you might have on the go, kind of keeping it there. But again, this next, like the very first card saying see things from a new perspective, that also pertains to projects or work or relationships or just everything in your reality in particular. So Aries, act, whatever it is that you might have been looking at or allowing to simmer in this last time of the cycle, now may be the time of action, bringing something up that needs to be done. You might have organized certain things, or created a business plan for certain businesses or projects that you have going. You might have put down a particular list of things that you wanted for relationships, or seeing what you would like to have in the tribe that is coming to you. And now is the action time. This is where the new moon will bring this new perspective for you to be able to act, so that it gives you the best benefit possible. So let's look at what this has to say for Aries, act. Aries asks you to remember your personal fire, your reasons for being alive. It pumps up the volume on your life force. Its energy is raw, exhilarated, direct, rude, passionate, and looking for a challenge. Use your wisdom to focus this raw power and give it a goal. Aries is the cardinal fire sign whose fresh, brash enthusiasm is symbolized by a headstrong ram. It rules the head and imbues initiation, new beginnings, spontaneity, rebellion, and rebirth. The sun shines here March 20th to April 20th, but the message is still applicable for now. Action. Begin. Move into a new territory. Cut to the chase. Be a hero. Feel the call to action and thoughtfully respond. Clear the air and clear the decks. Be crisp and to the point. Shoot from the hip. Set healthy boundaries by just by being vibrantly alive. Express affection enthusiastically, spontaneously, and passionately. Work in short, intense bursts rather than long periods of deep concentration. Aries activates our inner adolescent. Direct orders can set off knee-jerk rebellion, which is true, and seeing some things from a different perspective could actually help in that. Instead of telling others what to do or how they feel, express your own experience and opinion and speak in I terms. Set a challenge and let others find their own answers. Make sure all sides feel heard. If a person feels torn between meeting their own needs and meeting another's, they'll take care of their own needs first. So don't set this up as an either or situation. Aries energy boils over quickly. If a situation threatens to erupt in conflict, get out, take a break, and come back later. See it again from a new perspective and with empathy. Challenge. Accidents increase when you are in a hurry, so rushing through a project or impatiently distracted. This flammable temperament can spark inspiration or spark a conflagration. Proceed with caution. And this definitely had its place when we had the full moon. Gift. Aries marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere. After a long dark winter, the dead landscape comes alive. Plants that were shorn of leaves or dormant now breathe new life. This is a brave miracle, and it can be your miracle. Feel the flowing inner life force and trust this divine direction, and summon the courage to begin. This is beautiful just because it is saying that things that are happening, especially with Aries as a particular constellation that this is in, or this is talking about, is very fiery. So the energy at this time is going to be very fiery. It is going to feel very fast paced. In fact, time in general feels like it's actually moving faster than it ever has before. And it will continue to do that. It will continue to feel like it's moving faster and faster, just keeping that in mind. Having said that, you have the opportunity to make your reality a very pleasant one, especially when your action is for the good of yourself as well as the good for the common good for all. And this is just saying, be very careful as to how you proceed. Proceed with caution as well, just knowing that you could get caught up in that fiery energy, that tornado of craziness that is around you and around us right now globally, but just the way that astrologically, the way that it is at that particular time in the new moon setting, and where you are in your life. So let's see how this completes with the last card. We have the third house, communication. Very beautiful. Now, communication is very important at this time as well. And that is another thing that you have to be very cautious about, just because sometimes we can flare up, especially when it comes to speaking with significant others or family members or people that are very close to you. As you know, you hurt the ones you love the most when you actually open your mouth and get very involved with the anger that might be welling up inside of you. This is saying, check your emotions before you speak. That communication is always going to be very important, not only for your loved ones, but also for your coworkers or people that you are that you're seeing coming to you as resources. And when you look at everything that is going on here, I see that we're entering a time of very fast-paced moving spiritual development. And that can also can cause a little bit of confusion as well. And so the communication that might happen at this particular time could evoke some confusion within the banter back and forth. So just knowing that whatever it is that you're saying, just make sure that the other person is clear about what it is that you're saying, being clear about how you say your perspective. So let's look at what it says here. If your chart were a village map, the third house would represent your local neighborhood, primary school, and corner pub. It symbolizes how you learn, communicate, and move around your familiar world based on your sibling-like relationships and the people in your local environment. Is it family members? Action. Check the lines of communication and your thinking process. First, repair any actual technical glitches, loose wires, computer or phone problems. Then take this metaphor a step further and look at how your messages are sent and received. Make sure you understand what was intended in a letter or email you received. Ask other people what they heard you say in the exchange. Like I said, be very clear. When in doubt, ask for more information and repair any miscommunication. Then take this metaphor in-house and look within. Notice the quality of your thinking. Repair glitches. Stretch your mental muscles and improve the quality of your communication to yourself. You may need to learn new ways to express yourself to others, so that others can hear your true intentions. Think about how you learned to communicate growing up through your relationships with siblings or sibling-like friends, your early school experiences. Investigate how those early relationships formed mental habits that affect the present moment. You may need to get out of your head and get a fresh perspective, which is what was said with Aries in ACT. Observe and test your assumptions. Check for confirmation bias, the tendency to believe anything that supports your opinions, and reject new information that challenges your worldview. It's just basically finding the common ground. Read a spiritual text or ponder a metaphysical concept and let it stretch your mind. Check in with siblings and sibling-like friends. Look for any shadow or rivalry and see if you can switch it to mutual encouragement where all win. It's up to you to reframe this dynamic. Challenge. Chatter is not the same as communication. Sibling or sibling-like rivalry can challenge you to grow in small doses, but don't let it distract you from the self-direction. Stay on target. The gift. We are all siblings in the eye of spirit. Let that sink in. So this is lovely because it is saying about how communication is going to be affected, especially around this particular time. And I would have to say a good week or within 2 weeks, actually, after the new moon, watching how the communication lies. Now, if you are very solid with your communication, you actually relay your intentions very well during that time, you watch what it is that comes out of your mouth, then you will start to see the fruits of that. You will start to see if you've cooperated or set a stage for cooperation in the dynamics of the relationships that are around you, as well as new ones that come together, you're going to start to see that lays a great foundation for more wonderful relationships and the growing of something, whether it is the growing of a loving relationship, like a romantic relationship, or growing the new relationships into something that stays with you for a long period of time and could actually implement some communication and relaying when you are in a work relationship. So let's just go over this a little bit here. We've got ascendant entrance, and we're seeing that at this time, this is opening your heart to newness, the new perspective, the entrance of something new that could be coming in because it is being rebirthed by the new perspective. Then we've got being careful about the actions that are going to happen at this particular time because you have let your organization within your head kind of simmer, and trying at this point to act from the heart and not from the head, which is sometimes an Aries quality where it basically takes what it is that you're doing within your mind and just blah, it just takes it right out. So that goes right into the next card, which is the third house communication, watching how you communicate what it is that you're intending in your action process. I see this is a very crucial time period. The new moon is a very crucial time period, especially when it comes to creating creative projects, projects at work, or work relationships in general. So this is something, and working on something, say, for example, you are writing or you are involved with a community-based project. These things are very important to get the communication right, especially if you're in a counseling kind of situation too. You want to watch what it is that you say to your client so that it gets the point across. You want to find common ground so that it stays that way. So this is a very intense time period. Watch your communications. Just, think before you speak. Go drop into your heart and just basically say what it is that you really truly feel rather than what you think you feel. So I hope this helped for the new moon reading, and I really do hope that you have a lovely time, that you know that the fast pacedness, you can actually take the time to take a few moments to breathe, go walking out in nature so that you can ground yourself as well, especially when it feels overwhelming. Take the time for a small meditation if you're into that and would like to, or just listen to some really good music. Going out and getting out there, this is a time also of embracing joy. So get out there, listen to some music, do your thing, and know that everything that you do will create a wonderful reality for you, especially at this time, because it's a time of creating a great beneficial situation, that things will work out for you as soon as you, as long as you're staying in the track that you're wanting to, your goals, watching how you're going for your goals. So again, I hope this helped. Thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate that you do get a chance to. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and like this video. Send me a comment if there's anything that you've also gotten from the videos as well, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.